Hey you guys, it's your girl Deidre-Ann and welcome back to the channel. So yeah, let's just jump right into today's video. So today I want to do a video on my monthly budget as a medical doctor in Jamaica. I wanted to do this from the time I was living back at my apartment in Montego Bay, Jamaica. I really wanted to do that video, but as you guys know, if you do not know this, please catch up on my older videos. Because of Hurricane Melissa, I had to move out of my apartment. But I was like, okay, I can't do the video anymore. But then I realized that yeah, I still did learn a lot while living in that apartment. I still have that experience, so I can still share that with others in the hopes that somebody can learn from this video, whether you guys get a positive takeaway, if you see anything that you'd want to implement in your day-to-day life, or if it's a negative takeaway, if you can say, okay, I'm gonna learn from this, and yeah, let's hope that never happens. So yeah, I decided that I'm still gonna make the video, and I'm also gonna be comparing it and contrasting it to know that I am back home living with family. So yeah, let us just jump right into it. So yeah, I have my little notebook here because I did write down some points that I want to speak on. So first of all, living alone as a medical doctor in Jamaica. So let me just preface this by saying that I am still not comfortable to where I'm gonna come here and share with you guys my monthly income. So this is not that type of video. I'm not gonna be sharing my monthly income. However, I'll be going through my monthly expenses. So yeah, the main expenses I had living alone in Jamaica were rent, utilities, car expenses, and also groceries. All right, so we're gonna start, of course, with the rent. All right. So first and foremost, rent in Jamaica on a whole is very expensive. Rent on a whole in Jamaica is expensive. You see, on the north coast, I feel like the issue is that there's a lot of competition. So local renters such as myself or just regular people are also competing with tourists. Because it's a tourism hub, a lot of overseas investors want to buy up the property in order to convert these housing units into Airbnbs, into short-term rental stays, into guest houses, or into whatever it may be, right? And so that drives up the market so much to where it's super expensive to rent down here. I rented in St. James, all right? And I looked. I was trying to find a very reasonable deal, right? And in a very specific location. So the cheapest apartment that I found that was suitable, because I wanted something at least semi-modern. So the cheapest apartment I found was $85,000. That's the cheapest apartment that I saw, was $85,000. And if you guys go back to my apartment hunting, that was the studio apartment. So if you know that studio apartment, that was for $85,000. But I was having issues with that. The apartment didn't even have a clothesline, blah blah blah. And the most expensive apartment that I saw was actually for $120,000 per month. And that was the one bedroom apartment that was really nicely furnished. If you go back to my apartment hunting video. No, I ended up taking a two bedroom, and it was actually somewhere between those two prices. I don't want to say the exact rent. I still don't want to say the exact rent that I was paying. So for all intents and purposes, and for the calculation that I'm going to be doing in this video, let's just say I was paying around $100,000 per month in rent. I really want this to be a discussion in the comment section. Like, you guys can comment whether or not you feel like that amount was a fair amount, especially if you watch my previous videos and you've seen the apartment I was living in. Let me know if that's something you feel like is reasonable. Please remember to be respectful, no dragging, no nothing, okay? But we can have a discussion. Let me know how much you guys would personally feel comfortable spending on a monthly basis for rent. Hey guys, moving on to the next major monthly expense, and that was my utilities. All right, so in terms of utilities on a monthly basis, I paid for electricity, water, cable and internet, as well as I paid for cellular data. All right, so those are my four major utilities for the month. In this video, I'm gonna be using rounded figures just for simplicity. So, for example, if the light bill costs $8,310, I'm just gonna go ahead and say $8,000. Okay, we're just gonna round off everything for simplicity, but you guys will still be able to get the gist. Okay, so in terms of electricity, you know that means JPS in Jamaica, Jamaica Public Service, and I was paying $8,000 per month for electricity. If you guys remember in Jamaica, in like August, September, thereabout, it was super hot, and so I was actually running the AC sometimes, which you know that can be expensive, and also I had an electric water heater. So I feel like those were the two main things that were sending up my electricity bill. Next utility was water. Yeah, was the water. If you guys watch my video about how I lost my apartment in Montego Bay, Jamaica, then you guys know where I'm headed with this. Okay, so for water, I was paying NWC $5,000 per month for water. However, because the area that I was renting in had significant water shortage problems, I was I ended up having to pay a water truck around $8,000 per month additional in water. So in total, my water expense for the month was coming up to around $13,000 per month. The next major utility I got was internet and cable, which I took through Flow. Okay, so I was spending $11,000 a month with Flow. Something was off. The Flow was not working in that community. It was not working. Half the time I was paying for the cable, I did not have it working. And so I was gonna cancel that. So I would only have been paying for internet, because the only reason I do not watch cable television, the only reason I wanted it was so that I could watch TVJ News, which I could already access through onespotmedia.com. So I was about to delete my subscription for the cable. Of course, I did not get around to doing that. All right, so we're just gonna leave that at $11,000 per month for internet and cable via Flow. I call my cellular data as a part of utilities because why not? I had cellular data that I paid. It was prepaid. Every month I paid Digicel $5,000 per month for cellular data. Um, because of how hectic everything was, I had not really set up the whole flow yard and road thing as yet. So I know that could have cut down on expenses somewhat, but Digicel has been a really capable provider for me over the years. I've been using that Digicel prepaid internet plan for years. I had that level of trust with Digicel to where, you know, I was saying considering switching over to Flow Yard and Road, but I didn't get around to doing that as yet. So yeah, let's just add that. Cellular data was my final utility per month. $5,000 for prepaid digital internet access. So yeah, well, if you total all of that, I was spending around $37,000 per month in utility costs. And the third category for my monthly expenses were my car related expenses. Okay, my car related expenses. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that I paid off my car in full around 2.5 years ago. Yeah, I paid off my car around 2.5 years ago. And yeah, so I don't have a monthly car payment in terms of loans. Also, during the period that I was renting, I never really had any major expenses come up related to my car, like no maintenance costs or whatnot. I pay my car insurance on a yearly basis. So for the monthly my car expenses, I only consider my gas. So my car is actually pretty good on gas. $6,000 fills up my tank, and that can serve me for the entire week if I'm just moving around in like one geographic area. However, because I do travel to some rural places for work. End up having to fill up the gas like around 2 times per week for work. Sometimes even 3 times per week. My employer does reimburse me for the extra mileage. Calculating that, let us say that per month a girl only spends $24,000. Hey guys, so my final monthly expense living alone in Jamaica, that was groceries and food. As you guys know, the cost of groceries in Jamaica is super expensive. Groceries in Jamaica is super expensive. Hey guys, I was spending around $20,000 per week in groceries. $20,000 per week in groceries. If I'm to be completely honest, on a normal basis, I normally spend around $15,000 a week in groceries. That's my normal. But you know, as I said, I had to be buying a lot of additional stuff and blah 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 in terms of groceries. So yeah, during that time period, I was spending around $80,000 a month. Because $20,000 per week times four, around $80,000 per month in groceries. Let me know, guys, if your grocery bill usually comes up to way less or more. If that amount per month sounds super exorbitant, or if it tracks based on the time that we're living in, knowing that Jamaica is super expensive, let me know your general thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know whether you guys are living in Jamaica or abroad. Let me know how much you guys spend on the weekly for groceries. Okay guys, so right now we're just gonna get into the estimated totals. So adding all of that up, I was spending around $241,000 per month in expenses. I'm a girl, I don't really go out a lot or anything like that, but I still do make allowance in my monthly budget to do things that I just find enjoyable, such as going to the gym, going out to restaurants to eat, or like buying skincare products or ordering clothes on Amazon. So I do make a monthly allowance for myself in my budget, and that is $20,000. Most times I do not even spend off all of that $20,000, and whatever I say I don't spend from that just goes into my savings. So adding that to the grand total, you know, $241,000 plus the allowance for $20,000 comes up to $261,000 per month. Okay, so now time to compare and contrast, because due to Hurricane Melissa, a girl had to move out of the apartment, and I am now once again living with my family. And so obviously I am not paying rent, but I do make a contribution to the monthly household stuff. Y'all know how it goes already. Y'all know how it goes already. So yeah, that's that. I still do buy groceries, but of course it's not gonna be as much as before. Still the same gas amount, still the same, relatively the same amount in gas. The miscellaneous fund actually had to increase because you know your girl is in therapy, but you know we're not getting a therapy forever, and even if I do keep therapy long term, it's not gonna be every single week. So you know, say as the time goes by, that's gonna reduce to like a smaller amount. So yeah, obviously living with family is gonna be way more affordable than living on your own. It's gonna be way more affordable. The other benefit to living with family is that I feel like maybe people don't really talk about this as much, but when you live alone, you do have a higher risk of being lonely. It is a fact. Yes, 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 it is a fact. But at the same time, I feel like on a whole, living on your own is more enjoyable. I feel like it is more enjoyable. I feel like you do get to know yourself way better, and I feel like it's just more comfortable in general. I feel like it is something that I would encourage persons to try at least once, but not to necessarily pressure yourself into it if it does not align with your current needs and goals and stuff. Like if you have a plan, like a 2 3 year plan, and you're like, boom, I want to save until I can buy my own home, I want to save until I can buy a car, I want to save to go back to school, I want to save to do this and that, don't force the situation, don't force yourself to go out on your own, right? If you have other stuff to work on. Or some people, They are so fortunate, like their family already done create a little section of the house for them where they can already enjoy that luxury. Then there is no need to move out. There is no need to move out. If and then some people, I feel like, I don't know, they just find a lot of pleasure and joy in living at home. They don't even have the desire. You know what I mean? So don't force yourself. If you have your partner, you know, so everything well settled and whatever. You understand what I say? But if feel like, also maybe if you've already lived on dorm at university, I feel like it's also like you already low key know how it feels to live on your own. You might not have had that space. I feel like the space makes it even better, but I feel like you have already the mindset of knowing, you know, I'm basically on my own. I'm getting to explore who I am and all of that. But if you've had that on your heart for a long time and you say you just want to experience it and see how it feel, then don't let anybody stop you, because it does have a lot of benefits as well. It's a very enjoyable experience, and it does allow you to really get to know yourself and discover a lot about you. So yeah, guys, let me know your perspective on everything I've discussed. Today is actually super cold. I'm filming this video on Sunday, February 1, 2026. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, because each like helps to push the video out there to more people. Like literally, you can see it on the back end. Every time you guys like the video, it literally pushes the video out to more people. Also, remember to subscribe to help your girl reach 2,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and leave a comment, because I literally love talking to you guys in the comment section below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.